Man, they are really going ham on the card reveals, aren't they? Mark of the Unkilling, the Forest Craft Silver Omen spell, 0 play point, banish an enemy follower with 0 attack or less. Draw a card, and hand 6, banish any enemy follower instead. So with this context in mind, it makes it a lot easier to see what they were going with when they revealed the Disciple and the Servant of Unkilling doing the attack debuff thing. This also works with Shama's Gaze from Shamu and Shama Noblekin, but I think this might be a little too situational to be of use or a staple card, even in a controlling Forestcraft shell. Just because it kind of requires you to have that debuff in hand already. The draw card effect really does help though, makes it a lot more useful as a cantrip. Without it, this really lowers the quality of draws in your deck, but I don't think that this card is castable without an eligible enemy follower in play, so you can't just cast this for draw card. Which is good, because otherwise this would be ridiculous. The Enhanced 6, though, it's a bit expensive, and it doesn't have the flexibility of being able to deal with enemy amulets as well. So this card makes sense in the whole big picture of the Unkilling package, but I just don't think it's gonna really make a huge splash. This is one hell of a hate card for Shining Bellringer Angel, though. Ding dong, the bell is dead. Truth's Education, the Rune Craft Omen spell, 6 play point silver card. Summon a Guardian Golem and give it +X/+X, deal Y damage to the enemy leader, restore Z defense to your leader. We're going full Yu-Gi-Oh! X, Y, and Z equals the number of times this card has been spell boosted, split randomly between the 3 effects. I think this card is really quite good, despite being a clear RNG Clown Fiesta. Just because it gives Spell Boost Runecraft a clear counter to the way they usually get beaten, which is getting pressured out by aggressive tempo decks. This gives you a big defensive follower with ward and heal in your Spell Boost deck that naturally fits in there. The deal Y damage to the enemy leader, while it's a powerful effect, and pushes the game plan of Spell Boost in general, getting that chip damage in before you do your Giant Chimera off the back. It's scary as heck because it does leave, whether or not you win or lose, way more to the whims of fate, but it also balances out the fact that without it, it would be solely a defensive card that would be, I think, way too good. But yeah, all the effects are good and it's super powerful. On top of those 2 spells, we also got a Swordcraft Silver Officer follower here, 4 play point 3/3. Aloha die. Fanfare, choose either put a Flarewing Spear or a Frostwing Spear into your hand. The Flaring Spear is a 4 play point, deal 3 damage to an enemy follower, then deal 3 damage to the enemy leader. And the Frostwing Spear is a 2 play point, give an unevolved allied follower the ability to evolve for 0 evolution points. Honestly, I don't think this card is all that great. I think it's a really good arena card for sure, but in Constructed, it's a bit slow, right? It's a 4 play point 3/3. The Flaring Spear may be used in a aggressive style deck because you're not doing a lot with your play points as you get later into the game, and it helps you push damage while also managing the board a little bit so that you don't get blown out yourself. The Frosting Spear, on the other hand, which is what a lot of people are talking about as a free evolve, isn't really a free evolve, is it? It's a 2 play point evolve in a class that plays really well on curve, and I don't think playing the Frostwing Spear on a 3 play point card on turn 5, or even later than that, is really what the class wants to be doing, especially when they have access to so much rush as well. It's a versatile card. It has the potential to be quite good, but I think it's a bit low tempo for Constructed. We'll have to see how the meta shakes up post-rotation, but I think this card is a little overrated. Not to say that it's bad, just a little overrated. And we also got a Shadowcraft Bronze follower here, 4 play point 2/2, Sinister Sarcophagus. Last words, reanimate 2. Evolve, summon 3 ghosts. Only gets +1/+1 on evolve as well. Not really sure where this fits in exactly. No Arcus synergy. It's a weak body on curve. It gets banished real easy. In Unlimited, though, it's potentially a Atomy enabler because it summons those 3 ghosts that can go face when you evolve it. Then you just play your Atomy. But I think you can pretty much activate Atomy pretty consistently without spending an evolve in Unlimited anyway. So not too sure about the viability of this card there either. I think this card is just slow in any case. And rounding things off today, we have the Lust package for Bloodcraft, the Omen, as well as her followers. First up is the Bronze here, Servant of Lust, 2 play point 4/2. Fanfare, deal 1 damage to your leader. Whenever this follower attacks the enemy leader, restore 2 defense to both leaders after damage is dealt. I mean, it's a 2 play point 4/2. It's really quite good, isn't it? And if it's allowed to connect to the enemy face, it does 2 damage to the enemy still, and it heals you. Weird, twisted, edgy version of Unica, right? I think all around this is just a really solid follower. Next up, we have the Disciple of Lust, the 1 play point 1/1 silver follower. Whenever this follower attacks, deal 1 damage to your leader. Last words, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader. It reminds me a lot of Ambling Wraith, but I think it's much weaker, really easily dealt with. So not too convinced about this Disciple of Lust here. But if they're about to make aggro Bloodcraft a thing again, sign me up. And we have the Apostle of Lust, 5.54 fanfare, deal 2 damage to your leader, and draw 2 cards, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader, and your opponent draws 1 card. Looks like the concept of Lust in this case is giving and taking, and you're certainly giving your opponent something by letting them draw a card, but I still think this card is pretty solid. It's a solid body on 5 that lets you draw 2 cards without having to run low tempo effects like Blood Pact, so you can really just try and curve out. Of course, the dealing damage to yourself effect helps you proc your Euroman Guns, your Darkfeast Bats, and synergizes well with the new Omen for Bloodcraft. Valneric, Omen of Lust, 3.13. Fanfare, if your leader has taken damage during your turn at least 7 times in this match, gain +1/+1 and storm and destroy an enemy follower. At the start of your opponent's turn, if your leader took damage during your previous turn, gain +1/+1. There's a lot of self-damaging effects at 2 play points, and at 3 then this becomes a 3.24. And later on in the game, it's not only additional chip damage, but it's also really strong removal, kind of like a replacement for Emeralda. And it's really cheap removal in the late game as well, so you can use it with other cards in addition. There's really nothing much I can say that's bad about this card. I think it's just really strong, which I'm sure Bloodcraft appreciates given their status in rotation right now. And those are the cards that have been officially translated and put on the Twitter so far, and those are my thoughts on it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. I'm sure the second that I upload this, the Twitter is going to update with more cards, but you know, such is life. Like the video if you did, don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content and Omen of the 10 hype in the very near future. And of course, thank you to my wonderful patrons, patreon.com/Ignideus. If you'd like to support the channel as well, I would highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.